Yeah, Liam, on Saturday, I thought that there was a lack of leadership on the pitch, but I do accept John's point that after 3 years with Martin O'Neill, there should be a policy, a philosophy for this kind of situation. You know, if we get one and it was a cheap goal, we want to go and get the second to kill the game off.
Well, yeah, that should be, you know, in the players' minds, and naturally. And I felt that after the Euros, where we performed reasonably well. I think we got a little bit of luck as well, but we performed reasonably well. Great win against Italy, then a really good performance against France, despite getting knocked out. I thought we would go on from there. I thought there would be a belief about us come this World Cup qualifying group. But it started a bit like, not as bad as Saturday night, but the home game against Georgia. In the first half, we were totally outplayed as well. And there seems to be a lack of belief, a lack of understanding as to what they're supposed to be doing, you know. I've never seen an Irish team drop that far deep. Maybe against Russia a few years ago when Richard Dunn was outstanding in Trapattoni's time.
Yes.
You know, we were penned in, but we were penned in by a very good team. But this team we were playing against the other night, yeah, they're technically good and they can play in tight places, but we never asked any questions of their defence until the last 15 minutes, and we had a couple of chances. So I would say to, you know, Martin O'Neill should come out firing all guns blazing today, saying, look, we're fourth seated in the group and I'm second in the group, and if we win all the games we can top our group, which is, yeah, that's true, and you've got to give them credit for that. But on the other side, you say, well, you know, why isn't there a belief about the players playing a team like Georgia? Why can't we take the game to Georgia? Why can't the midfield players accept responsibility to turn them the ball and keep the ball and so forth? You know, they're the questions that he needs to answer, but he doesn't want to answer, and, you know, his defence is, well, I'm fourth seated in the group, I'm second at the moment, and that's all there is to it.
John, let me make a point about Martin O'Neill. It's important to make it when we're discussing him. He's been a manager for a long time.
Yep.
And at Leicester, at Celtic, at Aston Villa. He took Aston Villa to sixth in the Premier League, and Celtic took them to the final of what is now the Europa League, or was then the UEFA Cup. He has a track record of success, and any criticism of him now must be set against that perspective. But I think he doesn't rate the Irish team. I think it's a bit like Trapattoni. He doesn't have the faith to encourage the players to really play.
Well, I think that's what we can see on the pitch, and that's my take on it. He has been a very successful manager, and every manager is different in the way in which the teams that they take over. The international team is a different team altogether, as Phil in that.
Yeah.
Now, I think he's done a very, very good job. Coming to the Irish team, I think he does give them a sense of discipline. I've never seen the Irish team go out and not try.
No.
But there's definitely, like Liam mentioned there, that this is, I think he might have mentioned this is the first time this has happened, about sitting back. Actually, it's happened quite a bit.
Yeah.
It happened actually in the first match against Serbia. We go back to the first match, we scored after 2 minutes. And I find that when we got something to lose, then everybody gets uptight and starts sitting back.
Yeah, just
against Serbia, I'm sorry, I'll just finish. Against Serbia, when we went we sat back. We went 2-1 down, we might have gone 3-1 down, and then we started to play again. If you look at some of our best wins against, one of the great wins was Germany. We had to beat Germany. We mentioned Italy. We had to beat Italy.
Yeah.
A draw was no good.
No.
So it's releasing the players to go and do what needs to be done. And I think that's not the case at the moment. I think, when we were going to Serbia, Martin was saying this is a fortress, and this actually hadn't done very well before that.
No.
So if you go into that state of mind, it's very hard for the players to switch off from it. So I think that's the problem. Like what we're talking about tonight is, like I heard Martin say, this is they're a good technical team, like better than us, better saying.
Yes.
I don't think they are.
No, well, he shouldn't be saying that. But one other match that I remember, Liam, you'll remember this because it was against Italy. We went 1-0 down against Italy and we came back. Remember Robbie Keane? We pounded them for the last 20 minutes, and we got an equaliser. We played really, really well when we had to chase the game.
Yeah, well, I think John's got a very, very good point. It's very relevant, but it almost seems to be the players making that decision. Where you'd want us to be positive before the game, and when the game kicks off. You remember the game against Georgia? We'd come back from the European Championships, and very, very confident. Kind of the pride in the team had been restored after a difficult time in Capitani's last spell. And I expected so much more from this team. I expected to see a belief that they were going to. They really were going to do well in the group, and to be fair, they've scraped the results, and we're still in with a big shout. But I just don't see the confidence, the belief that the team should have.
Yeah, I mean, John, you would agree with that, wouldn't you? I mean, O'Neill is. I mean, whatever he did in the past has to be noted and acknowledged.
Oh yes, definitely.
But to this group of players, ever since he's been here, really, he doesn't seem to have given them the confidence. And you can tell when you watch a team, any team, if it's a championship match or a Premier League match, the way they pass the ball around and the passing and the movement betrays how they feel, how confident they feel. What you see when you watch Ireland is people aimlessly lumping the ball forward. Saturday was terrible in that respect.
Yeah, but you go back to aim, and you have to go back to, again, what I'm repeating myself now. Every game has a different phase. You go in front, you go behind, and that. And it's a bit like Trapattoni as well. When we went to France to play in that playoff match, we had to win that match. We played like we never played before. Because there's a fear factor there. Whoever is responsible for it, I don't know. But when we played against Serbia in the first match this season, we scored early on, sat back, same as the other day, and finished up going behind, and now we play again. For Germany, we had to win. At Italy, we had to win. Right? So it's a state of mind when you go out on the pitch. And we had a state of mind. I think Martin is obviously responsible for obviously the manager is responsible for everything. That like we're talking about this team tonight. This team, I heard him saying, this team is technically better than us. I don't think they are. There's no great teams out there, Eamon. I don't think we should be going in any matches. So I saw somebody writing, we're better when we're underdogs. Why should we be underdogs? Northern Ireland are doing it.
Yes.
Have they got better players than us?
No.
I don't think so.
They certainly don't. I mean, they certainly don't. If
I do disagree with you there, John. You just have to look at where these guys are playing. The Serbians are playing, and they're playing at a higher level than at clubs at a higher level than our lads are playing. And you see them; they're comfortable on the ball in tight situations, and I don't think we've got players of their calibre.
Well, you have to encourage. Eamon, you have to try it. You have to try it first. You have to give the lads a chance to do it. You have to encourage them to do it.
I don't disagree with that, but it'll be a game where the Irish team will have to show confidence and have to show belief, because these are really good players, and if you go into the game and you're in two minds about how you're going to go about it, and two minds how you're going to play, a bit like we were in Georgia the other night, well, I think this team will take you. It has to change tonight if we're going to get a result,
Yeah, well, that's. I'm not saying that. Not the point. I mean, I think we're agreeing on that, Liam. I'm saying that the situation in matches that has happened, that we go in front, we've got something to lose, and we tighten up. Now, again, if I'm talking about Northern Ireland, I've never seen them do that.
We don't have a player like we've done this podcast with him several times. We're talking about Man United and Chelsea and Matic leaving Chelsea and going to United, and what a good signing that was. But they've got Matic in the middle of the park tonight, John, and we haven't got anybody who's prepared to put his foot on the ball. If Wes Houlihan doesn't play, we don't seem to have anybody. At least on the evidence of Saturday. On the evidence of Saturday night, we don't.
No, well, I'd have to disagree with you there, Liam. When Arthur is playing for Bournemouth, for example, does he get on the ball? Doesn't
No,
Brady, when he's playing for Hull, get on the ball?
We said that. We said that the other night. Yeah, but they're not. They're still not in the same class as Matic, are they?
Well, we don't know till they try it. They're better than they were the only one. They're not getting on the ball at all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we mightn't have such good players.
We picked the times out where they didn't accept responsibility. They didn't want to get on the ball. They didn't want to take their time on the ball. They didn't want to play a couple of passes to retain possession and switch the play. They just didn't do it. Matic, that's ingrained in him. He just does it naturally.
I think they're both international.
The way I did it naturally.
Yeah, but exactly.
So did I, by the way.
But they're doing it at national level. But what I'm saying is, okay, Brady and Arthur might not be as good as Matic, but they're good players and they actually do it at club level. Not as good as Matic, but they actually do it and get on the ball well.
No, but I'm not disputing that, John, and that's what we want to see tonight. We want to see them do that. And I think if Houlihan plays, he actually makes a statement to the players that are playing with him. We've got to get the ball down and play. You've got to get the ball into Wes's feet. Otherwise, we've got to get him on possession of the ball. And the only way we can do that is actually pass it to him. We won't do it by lumping it. So I think when Houlihan plays, the players somehow, I don't know, switch on that they've got to play a more passing game. When he's not in the team, I think they'll just go back to front like they did the other night in a kind of in a hopeful way. It's all hopeful football.
Well, it always is when you're going back to front.
It's not constructive football at all.
Well, I think if Houlihan played the other night, he might have made a difference, Liam. But he's not going to change the whole philosophy of holding on to what we've got when we scored early on. He would do a bit better than some of the lads are doing. But Brady can play. Arthur can play. They can do it for both at the club level, and they're not the same players for us in many ways.